Have you ever really looked at a CD or a DVD? I mean, really looked at them? Today, we're diving into a piece of tech you've probably held 1,000 times and taking a closer look at the shiny silver disc. Because here's the thing. On the surface, they look identical. Same size, same feel, same cool rainbow sheen when you hold them up to the light. But a CD can hold, what, an 80-minute album? Meanwhile, a DVD can hold a 2-hour blockbuster movie, complete with extra features. So what's the deal? Well, that's the microscopic mystery we're gonna solve right now.
To really get to the bottom of this, we have to go back to the beginning. We gotta start with the compact disc. This thing wasn't just another format, it was an absolute revolution. This was one of the first giant leaps toward how we store pretty much everything digitally today.
So what is a CD, really? Well, you can think of it as a storage device where a super focused laser beam reads these tiny little bumps on its surface to pull out data. And back in the day, this was a massive, massive upgrade over old school tech like floppy disks. You got way more capacity and it was a lot cheaper to make. Okay, and here is our baseline number, the number you gotta remember. A standard CD holds about 700 megabytes of data. Now, that's perfect for a music album, but when you start thinking about video, yeah, it gets pretty cramped pretty fast. So lock that number in your head, 700 megabytes. All right, now let's jump forward a bit and see how this technology evolved. Say hello to the DVD, or the digital versatile disc. You know, it looks like a CD, it feels like a CD, but it took the same basic idea and just cranked it up to 11. And the name really says it all, versatile. It was built almost exactly like a CD, but its big claim to fame was a mind-boggling increase in how much stuff you could fit on it. And I'm not talking about a little bump here. We are talking about a gigantic leap. About 7 times more data. And here it is. This is the big reveal. A standard single-layer DVD holds 4.7 gigabytes. That's 4,700 megabytes compared to the CD's 700. All of a sudden, putting a high-quality movie on a single disc wasn't just some crazy idea, it became the new normal. So here's our central question then. We've got a disc that's the exact same size, but it holds 7 times more data. How is that even possible? Well, the answer isn't something you can see with your own eyes. To find it, we've got to zoom in, like way, way in, down to the microscopic level. Okay, the first major difference is right here, layers. A CD has just one single layer of data, but a DVD can have 2. The laser in the player is actually smart enough to focus through a semi-transparent top layer to read a whole second layer of data underneath it. And just like that, you've doubled the storage space right off the bat. But it gets even crazier. The data on these discs is stored in a long, continuous spiral track, kind of like an old vinyl record. On a DVD, those tracks are packed way, way tighter together. The space between them is less than half of what you'd find on a CD, just 0.74 micrometers. I mean, that's incredibly tiny.
And honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. If a CD is like writing with a regular pen, a DVD is like using an ultra-fine point pen. You can just cram so much more information onto the exact same page by making everything smaller and tighter.
And that idea applies to the pits as well. Those are the actual little bumps that represent the ones and zeros of the digital code. On a DVD, the pits themselves are smaller and the space between them is cut by more than half. Literally every part of how the data is stored got shrunk down.
And you know, it wasn't just about fitting more data. The DVD was a total upgrade across the board. Just look at that data transfer rate, a huge jump to 11 megabits per second. That meant the disc could actually deliver all that extra data fast enough for you to watch a movie without it stuttering. Every single spec was improved to handle that massive increase in storage.
Okay, so we've geeked out on all the microscopic details. Let's zoom back out for a second. Why does any of this matter? What did all these tiny, invisible changes actually mean for us and for the movies and music we all love? This chart right here really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? It's one thing to hear the numbers, but when you see them side by side like this, man, it just shows you the incredible scale of the improvement. That little bar for the CD, that's your favorite music album. That giant bar for the DVD, that's an entire feature film with extra languages and all the behind-the-scenes stuff. So here's the ultimate takeaway. CDs were amazing for music, but that 700 megabyte ceiling was a real problem. The DVD's 4.7 gigabytes just completely shattered that limit. It made the DVD the first truly universal format for high-quality video you could enjoy at home. And that changed everything.
how we watched movies, how we played video games, everything. You know, this whole leap from CD to DVD was driven by one simple need: to fit more and more data onto a physical thing you could hold. But today, with streaming and cloud storage, that physical need is kind of fading away, isn't it? So it makes you wonder, was the DVD the peak of physical media? Have we now turned the final page on the story of the disc? It's definitely something to think about.